Привет! Hello! Welcome to my channel AllasYummyFood. I'm Alla, the host of this show and this wonderful channel. I'm so happy to have you here, and on today's episode and our video lesson I'm going to teach you how to make gluten-free blueberry pierogi. Pierogis are absolutely amazing. They're popular all over Baltic states and of course Poland. So if you've ever traveled to any of these countries, you will know what I'm talking about. If you've never tried them, you should definitely try them. And I've been working a lot with the gluten-free recipes, and I've come up with a perfect one for this specific one. They taste absolutely amazing, really creamy, really delicious, and if you're gluten intolerant, this recipe will be in your scrapbook forever. And guys, of course, to get access to all my recipes, you have to be a member. To become a member, you can sign up via the link in my description box and join thousands of other people just like you and join our amazing online cooking and baking community. Now guys, let's get started. To make our gluten-free dough, we're going to add everything into our stand mixer. We're going to combine our flour, egg, oil and salt with warm water. We're going to mix everything until the mixture is well combined, and just keep mixing it on low, increasing the speed if you need to. If your dough is too wet and sticky, you can add a little bit more flour, but just be careful as you don't want to go over the top and make it super dry. The drier the flour, the easier it breaks. The drier the dough. If the dough is too thick, you can add a little bit more water. You want to mix the dough until it's soft and pliable mass, okay? And if you see here, I did a little test with my hand, and this is kind of really important because this is what's going to help you to determine if your dough is ready or not. If it breaks in your hand and it doesn't stretch too much, it might be too fragile. This dough is already super fragile, so it's not like the same as any other dough if you've never made gluten-free recipes. And to be honest, it's very long process, but as long as it's pliable in your hand and you can squeeze and stretch it, then it should be good. If you feel like it's breaking too much, you can add a little bit more water inside and just keep mixing, but just add a little bit at a time. Once you're happy with your dough, you're going to cover it and place it into another bowl and cover it in plastic wrap and leave it to rest in a room temperature for at least 30 minutes or so. Alternatively, you can also put it into the fridge for about a few hours or leave it overnight. The dough is really tricky to work with and it does break, and it's normal. So if it happens to you, don't worry, just re-roll it and just keep going. What I found the best is to use a lot of flour as you roll it out and work in small pieces of the dough rather than the whole dough in full. So break a little bit of your dough and just keep rolling it out with lots of dough underneath and on your rolling pin. You could potentially even roll it out between two sheets of parchment paper. It might make it easier. And once you roll it out, you can make it a bit thinner, and you want to just cut out the circles as quickly as you can. And you do have to work pretty fast with this dough. As it dries out, it becomes more crispy and dry, meaning that you won't be able to make any shapes that you want. Then take your dough. What's really important is that you flip it over, place it onto your palm, and then add your filling, and then just seal the edges around the corners just like so. And just go around, make sure it's nice and tight. And just repeat the process with all of your dough and your fillings. And you do have to work really fast, as I've mentioned before. Once you've rolled out your shapes, what you want to do, you want to place them onto your floured board and cover it in towel or cling film so that our pierogi or vareniki don't dry out. This is really important and essential. So make sure you do that. And once you've done all of your pierogi, you might want to do some at a time and then leave the dough under the towel or wrapped in cling film. You're going to boil the water. You want to make sure it's nice and boiling before adding your pierogis in. And again, this is really important. Again, don't be tempted to add too much filling, as they will break. It's not the same dough as you're used to working, especially if you've never worked with gluten-free dough before. And once you bring a large pot of salted water to boil, you're going to reduce the heat slightly so the water is just rolling boil. And you're going to drop about 5 to 10 pierogis at a time into the water, stirring so they don't stick to the bottom of the pan. And once they start to float to the top, you're going to cook it for additional 5 minutes or so. They can overcook very, very quickly, so you do have to watch out and you have to be careful while cooking them. So what I recommend is just kind of monitoring them, maybe take one out, check it if you're happy with it, and then use a slotted spoon to remove your pierogi at a time. You do want to serve them straight away and enjoy it straight away. And I usually like to serve it with my blueberry jam and sour cream and enjoy it.